Headlines making the rounds this afternoon. Senate pushes municipal bonds to cook for local government. 2.2 million poor households to receive federal government cash transfer. And over 40 missing, 10 rescued in Sokoto boat accident. Good afternoon and thank you for joining us on the news at 3. I am Ubele Jeets Yara. Do you love and care about Rivers State and a peace? Let's build and take it to greater heights. For this is a task we must accomplish. Now the details of our report. Rivers State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral retired Ibok Ete Kweba says his administration will rejuvenate all the state-owned media organizations so that they can operate at optimal standards. Vice Admiral Bass gave the assurance after an extensive inspection tour to Rivers State Television Rstv, Radio Rivers FM, the Tide newspaper, Garden City FM, and the State Printing Press. Tamino Barabi Bulubo has the rest of the story.
This is the first time in more than a decade a sitting governor of the state will be visiting the media houses to assess the functionality of broadcast equipment and work environment of the staff. At all the media houses visited, management and staff lined up enthusiastically to welcome the administrator and his delegation. Vice Admiral Abbas described the media as indispensable to societal survival and development and assured that his visit was to identify key areas where intervention is needed and formulate plans to begin the process of upgrading the facilities.
Without the media, you can imagine how the society will survive. And I think the onus is on us to see how we can prioritize the resources we have and see the areas we can address to quickly bring some of these media houses back to what we expect them to be. I believe development all starts from when people are well informed, when people get the right perspectives of things that happen, and of course we know the force multiplier effect of having a vibrant and effective media system.
The administrator called on staff to cultivate a culture of equipment maintenance because their longevity is more dependent on proper usage than on the age of machinery.
And communication to work out a plan. We have something in the budget which we believe we can throw in there. You know, that the equipment at 30 years old doesn't mean they ought to be bad, but it's just our habits too. And this is where I have to ask that as we're able to get funds to replace some of this equipment, those of us who are managing, who are using them, we must also show some commitment in ensuring that you carry out preventive maintenance as well as the other necessary maintenance that can give this equipment the desired lifespan.
The inspection is part of the administrator's broader efforts to rejuvenate public institutions across the state. Tamun Mabarabi Ibulbo, Rstv News.
It was a moment of joy as Rivers State Television was thrown into a mood of jubilation as they received the Rivers State Sole Administrator Vice Admiral retired Ibok Ete Kweba. The visit of the Sole Administrator was on the heels of the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Information and Communications, Anna Sirabo's pledge to lead him to the station to see things for himself. Melvin Jackson has the rest of the story.
The sole administrator, who thanked management and staff of Rivers State Television for keeping the station afloat, charged them to put in their best to inform, educate and entertain the state with programs and government activities.
And also the fact that Rstvlive is in the budget for the year, and it is for that similar reason that I have decided to come and speak for myself what we have here. And I also believe because of the importance you give to a facility like this one, where you are responsibility is to disseminate information, educate, and enlighten. I think it's just the best thing to do, to be here to see what the challenges are, and then to identify those areas we can prioritize and intervene. The budget has just been passed, and we are in the process of executing the various aspects of the budget.
He promised to upgrade the station to reflect modern reality and global best practice.
We have waited for all these years, and now that the soup is almost ready, I think you just have to be patient. And then you also work with the team from the ministry. Yeah. You work with stakeholders, and then I'm sure that something is going in the offing, and then we'll be able to identify just the best equipment that you can have beyond the constraints of.
Speaking while receiving the sole administrator, Acting General Manager Mrs. Patience Chuks-Mefo thanked the sole administrator for his visit, aimed at changing the negative narratives of the station. She commended the Permanent Secretary, Minister of Information and Communications, Dr. Honor Sirawu, for positively presenting Rstv's matter to government, leading to the administrator's visit to the station, and expressed optimism that the visit will yield better results. The administrator was conducted around the station on a facility tour. Melvin Jackson, Rstv News.
In demonstration of Rotary Club of Port Harcourt Urban Valuable Partnership with Rstv Television, the club has planted trees at the station to encourage effective gaseous exchange. President of the club, Rotarian Don Oronsaye, who led his members to the station, said the gesture would strengthen the relationship. Gaspar Aneli reports.
In what could be described as a mega tree planting, where different people participated in the exercise, Rotarian Oresanye explained that the Rotary Club of Port Harcourt Urban deemed it necessary to partner the state-owned television station by adding value, starting with planting of trees, sequel to its coverage and valuable contents that promote humanity. The third president of the club noted that there is need for the staff to have effective gaseous exchange with the trees, adding that the club has included Rstv on its projects in their Rotary year. Rotarian Oresanye enjoined staff of Rivers State Television to carefully protect the trees in order to attract more of the club's yearly projects.
It's an organization that covers humanitarian services and helps to encourage the environment as well as charity works. The importance of planting the tree in Rstv is one of the core area of Rotary area of focus, and looking at Rstv as a partner in protecting the environment and also help releasing the needed oxygen to persons in there.
Gospower Anele, Rstv News.
Most Christians rely solely on their immediate status of wealth and neglect the natural powers of change as recorded in the scriptural story of the rich man and Lazarus. In the special report, Gaspar Anele examines the values of humility, love, and kindness, and the dangers of pride and greed. His report is presented from the studios.
Prior to this time, the negative attitude of certain people were rewarded just the same ways, and yet the knowledge and experiences gathered from these stories are still being neglected by modern evil promoters. Luke chapter 16, verses 19 to 31 records the story of a rich man and a beggar, Lazarus. Going by this story, we couldn't agree more that the indigent find it difficult to cope among rich men in large families and communities due to their treacherous behavior in every facet of life, especially in the denial of the poor of their ancestral rights. Sometimes, such strongly acquired wealth can lead descendants to stupidity and waywardness that may require favor in the shortest time from those they had oppressed. Church leaders and followers gave their views about the lessons learned from the story of the rich man and Lazarus.
The poverty of Lazarus was not unto righteousness. Lazarus was righteous right inside him. the poverty did not affect his righteousness. Some people feel that being poor is righteousness. No, some can be poor and they will be unrighteous. The rich man we're talking about, his own role, we're supposed to be in Christ, but he didn't play it that way.
If you look at it biblically, it does not really mean that Lazarus was a poor man, but Christ was just using a symbol of a rich man and a poor man. Like we also see in church today, there is a divide between the rich and the poor. If God has blessed as a rich man, he has made you to be a blessing to others. He ridiculed him, but the end, he saw that before God, Lazarus was more honorable than him.
We have heard stories that during the coming of the white men, those persons whose children were stubborn, they sold them as slaves. In the long run, when slavery was abolished, it was those persons who became the people that the white men used to make some of them interpreters, and some of them became the creme de la creme of the society.
As a human being, don't discriminate each other. Don't belittle anybody because you feel that that person is below your standard, because you don't know what God has for that person in the future.
Shouldn't Christians reflect on the virtues of Jesus Christ by showing love to humanity? God's power, Anele, Rstv News.
And now time for a short break. Do you love and care about Rstv and a peace? Let's build and take it to greater heights, for this is a task we must accomplish. Ahead on the news are 3 South Africa slums US human rights reports as deeply flawed. Details of these and more when we return. Please stay.
I need the police that can respond to emergencies first.
I want the equipment I need.